reality check, and that reality check has happened.
And the camp that said, "Mera paisa तीन साल में double हो गया." No?
Yeah.
23%.
Yeah, I think it's our generation that's kind of right now disappointed. But I think people who have stayed in the markets and know how the markets work are not probably complaining, like you rightly said. Kush, since we're talking about budget, railways, defense, in the past 6 to 8 months, they've seen, a downtick because they'd seen a significant, up move. But we're now expecting that this budget would probably have more capex allocation towards the railways, the defense, and the infrastructure sector. Today, if let's say not today, but in the next 1 week, just before the budget, if somebody wants to pick up some of these few counters, sure, what would they be?
And just to round up the question that you asked me earlier, which is on sectors, that I like, just a quick one on that. I like the agri space, which could very well receive some boost, in the budget. And I like the housing space, but in particular housing finance, not the developers, not the ancillaries just yet, but the housing finances. So just to round up on that question. Now, very interesting question, because everyone's got their eyes on the railway space, on the defense space, hoping for some allocation. Now, what's already happened is that some of these stocks had already run up. If you see the last month and a half, 2 months, these stocks have already run up, but we've not seen that follow through. So while I remain a little optimistic on some of these names, I think these are the spaces where you have to remain a little cautious as well. Because with all that hope built in and some price action already seen into some of these names, if it doesn't come through, then I think they will perhaps see some disappointment on the price front as well. But if it does come about, then the stocks that I have on my radar, BEL from the defense space is obviously one of them. We know it's been doing well. It's not even cracked as much as the other defense stocks had. So that is definitely one of them. From the railway pack, JWL, Jupiter Wagons Limited and Texmaco Rail, these are some of the names that I've got on my radar. The only caveat here is that, we've not seen that follow through in the price action, so that could perhaps be a bit of a worry. And if nothing comes about, then all the hope that's built in might perhaps get a reality check.
Do our guests in the studio have any questions for us? And if so, I would encourage you to raise your hands and let me know you have a question. Can I get a mic to him, please? In the meanwhile, I'm going to take one question from WhatsApp, which is, sit down for a minute. In the meanwhile, I'm going to take a question from WhatsApp because this is an interesting one. At a time when we're talking about budget and pre-budget strategies, we've got Sridhar B. He hasn't told me where he's tuning in from, but he's asked, please suggest some budget agnostic investment strategies. Gautam, you want to answer that?
Not really.
Kush?
Well, that is a brilliant question. Let me start with that. Because, look, we've seen in the past, it's an important event, but the impact of it pretty much lasts a day, maybe two, on the markets. We see that volatility, we see that action maybe on the following day, but then it just fizzles out. So that's an excellent question. I think what I have on my radar are some of the heavyweights. Reliance, we've seen a bit of a drop already. HDFC, we've seen a bit of a drop already. So some of these names, you've got safety as well in them, in the sense closer to support zones and already corrected quite a lot. So if your view is anywhere 6 to 12 months or longer, I think these are